Ardak Nurgas, Dolls in the Sky Over the City. Translated by Ouyang Yu. For Kanadomar. As soon as I think of the city, I think of myself. Located in the city, I can't bypass it. I can go without facing it. It's inside my body, inside my heart. Every footstep taken, walking and stopping to look backwards, overtaking some or giving way to others, all in the city, in the heart of my hearts. I can remove certain things from it like throwing away certain things. Relatives, friends, people known and unknown, colleagues, and people I've only met once, all in there in the city. I can bypass it. Getting off the bus, someone is smiling towards someone else. Possibly a smile for me too, because in 2 days I might accidentally recall the features that sent forth spring warmth to the others. The street lights go out at 11 p.m., but I may not go out except that I may close my eyes. Another part of the city, like me, may be brightly lit and as noisy. Houses in the city are levels, like threads of thoughts. The entrance may be to one family, but there are actually many doors by which to enter. The threshold of my family is high because the previous owner may have spent many years in prison, and when coming out of it, it may have kept increasing its high by adding a number of wooden boards. Every time I cross the threshold, I recall those things of the past, of the owner who has moved out, and of the days he has spent in prison. I don't know where he is now, whether the suitcase is still there that he took with him when he left, or if he has given it to someone else. On the day of his departure, the suitcase he was holding left a deep impression on me. I imagined that it wasn't a suitcase and that it was a maze, as if with a jarring noise a stone door would open itself to let countless bats out of the dark cave. But it's just an ordinary suitcase, and it's myself that let my thoughts go astray. One must be close to darkness, so close that one wants to bring out thrusts of darkness even in broad daylight. For this reason, I am sensitive about words like darkness and brightness. Put simply, I have their guts. They make me allergic. They resemble a wound inside my heart. I am only too anxious to smash them to pieces, to have the opportunity of chucking them into the steel furnace. But there is nothing I can do, as I have to deal with them and live with them as usual. They have a different name, lies. Lies make life smooth and relax people. Yes, you think so too? So, who says that butterflies are real, but the petal eyes on their wings are fake? Look at my metaphor. Lies are not something you could pour out as you sit and say it. They are wisdom, the highest level of thoughts. Those on high may feel relaxed themselves, and for that reason they often catch cold. Those on high may assume that they look at things differently. For example, those on high and in power often cheat, and we on low ground act as if we know nothing, but we also cheat them. We cheat each other exactly because we don't hope for a return of yesterday's. Simple as that. The head on the head is getting bigger, rounder, but not getting out of the zone of wisdom given by God. Such thoughts, as I know, normally conceal even from myself. Concealment because it is an idea of cloudless childhood. Why do people become cunning and greedy growing into adulthood? When I was a child, my father kept saying after he got drunk, cunningness is a stain on human character. Why not stop to contain yourself, oneself? Isn't it that I don't resemble myself acting like someone else speaking while waiting for the bus by the roadside, drinking coffee? I nearly threw up on thinking of these things, acting as if I had imagined myself as a philosopher. Philosophy is written for human beings, from Socrates, Plato, until the present. If mankind, wasn't gone astray. This is because they are vigilant about their rationality. In an environment like a zoo, treating oneself like an adult is a help. It seems I'm inclined toward theology. That won't do, and let's carry on for radical religious elements may raise their fists or threaten with suicide bombs. And that is not good. Sometimes people are that crazy. You must have realized the extent of confusion in my head. How can it not be confusion? The Talmud, the Bible, and what else? There is a Quran. The materialists have no other gods than the money or the holy war. What have we got today except the two extremes, like the fragments fallen from the sky imagined by Nietzsche? When he saw the chariot rushing down the street, didn't he run toward the horse and hold his head and said, "My pitiable brother"? The auntie in retirement door kept crying all night. The government kicked the retirees and migrants off the house security list. The good news is that one has not seen a bird of passage for a long time. What is a bird passage? Time? Metaphor? A symbol? Or a story? I say it is creating something out of nothing, a trick played by the bankrupt Soviet Union. In the Soviet Union period, things were so good that it is fucking enough to shout "Hail Hitler" or "Long live the party." But it isn't bad now, as there is freedom from fear and freedom to make money. Someone stops me on the road and says, "Can we go to the mosque together, then go to the war in Syria for a monthly salary of $800 without thinking I pack him off. Managing to bear it all, I thought of going to fight the war in Ukraine to defend the Russian territory, but those Gene words. Although Russia is huge, we can't possibly retreat as Moscow is behind us, are such great words that were being said after the Soviet Union collapsed. Cruel, of course. Dog only knows if Russians can imagine the iceberg drifting in the ocean of my heart. Although my wife knows it, for she says, "Your heart is not on the left but on the right." Are there people without hearts? I am Kazakh. I have died thousands of times and have come back alive thousands of times. But who said that? Possibly he doesn't have a heart or he has a hot head. Why scream like that? Isn't it that one is born once as he dies only once? It must be like that to have a hot head. They always like talking in a victorious tone. Oh, I'm so great. Why not say the name of a crow that it should have? It's that crow, a good bird, that one hears can live for thousands of years, for tens of thousands of years, not mentioning the fact that it is true that Stalin lived longer than Lenin. But it's all nonsense to say that crows keep company with sorcerers and reside with vampires. It is true, though, that there are some who exaggerate and who can hold still if they don't talk big. When they talk about eagles, it is the phonics that come out of their mouths. and it won't do if they don't talk at their age. Crows are an example because they are blackbirds, black all over. You keep smearing them black and adding black to the black. Whereas in fact, it is not that the crows are black, it is that the skies, as imagined by some, have sinister blackness that is hidden. Crows are not crows. The dark spots are the crows, and for this reason, the crows are not wrong. Isn't it the case that they talked about the powers that be as the sun yesterday but feel puzzled today as they can find a resounding metaphor? Why? It's because they can't get the name of a crow right that it ought to have. Because they can't. They can't go past it. They can't get rid of the dark clouds overhead. And they get, today, ask you, falling into that abyss described as a vicious circle of self satisfaction that looks full but that is actually stupid. Watching the kids playing on the swing in the courtyard suddenly, but it's not suddenly, it snows. Just that ordinary snow in the infinitely high place. Steam turns into water drops, and in the cold turns into snowflakes falling over my head. Just then, a group of black crows comes flying, perching on the wide branches of that big elm tree.